Amen. He knows our capabilities and our talents. Then it says, then he that had received the 5 talents, he went and traded with the same and made them other 5 talents. And likewise, he that had received 2, he also gained other 2. In other words, he used those talents, he invested them, and brought interest of 2 to boot. And so it says, but he that had received 1, verse 18, went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants comes and he reckons with them. He's now back from his journey. He's going to settle up the accounts. And so he that had received 5 talents came and, brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. And the Lord said to him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. See, when we hear that phrase a lot of times quoted or preached or whatever, we don't hear it in the context of this passage. When we hear, well done, thou good and faithful servant, we think about well, we get to the gates of heaven and God says, well done, you good and faithful servant, because you now enter into the joy of your Lord because you've lived a good Christian life. You got saved. All that's well and good and necessary. But here it's talking about stewardship. Handling personal property and funds. So, he says, well done, you good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou to the joy of thy Lord. The master was telling him, well done. When he says good and faithful servant, the translation means upright, honorable, admirable, and faithful servant. So you have been trustworthy. Is what he's saying. He's saying you've been faithful. You've been trustworthy. I entrusted 5 talents to you. You used them wisely. You invested them wisely. And now you've gained interest. Good job. Very good. I am pleased with what you've done. So he says, because you've proven that you can handle that, I'm going to entrust you with some more. I'm going to entrust more to you. Because if you'll be faithful over that, you'll be faithful over the other. How many times have I said tithing is not a matter of money? It's a matter of faith. It's a matter of principle. Tithing is not a matter of whether you can or not. It's whether you will or not. Amen, Pastor Mike. That's good preaching. If you are doing it, I declare it to you. Tithing is a matter of faith. Tithing says, I'm going to trust God. I'm going to put this 10% in, a dime out of each dollar. I'm going to put this in, and I'm going to trust you to meet the rest. I'm going to trust you to meet my needs. Here's the reason you can know whether it's a principle or not that you are buying into for this reason. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you will not give $10 of that 100 you've got, you certainly are not going to give 1,000 of that 10,000 you've got. Ain't going to happen. People say this all the time. Well, if I won the lottery, or man, if I just had $1 million, I'd give so much to my church here, or I'd give so much to this charity over here, or this ministry over here. I'd just do so. No, that's a lie. Until you've proven that you can be faithful in the small things. If you can't be faithful or trustworthy in the small things, you sure can't be trustworthy in the big things. People say, oh man, matter of fact, somebody asked me one time, if you had all of Rockefeller's money, how much of it would you give away? I give away all of it. I don't mind giving away somebody else's money. That's no problem. It's when it comes to Parnell's pocketbook. That's where the issue, that's where the rubber meets the road. So never say, well, if I had $1 million, I did this, I did that. No, go back and look. If you won't give $10 that 100 you got, you won't do anything else. That's just a principle. It's not a matter of money. When Jesus talked about giving, here and any place else, he never talked about the amounts of money being the object. He never talked about the amounts of money being the problem. He always talked about the attitude of the heart. That's why he got so excited when that little widow dropped that last little few pennies she had, dropped it off her plate, and he got all excited about that. Everybody else would come in, give him big offering and stuff. that didn't budge him, but she gave all that she had out of her heart. And so, anyway, he said, I just threw that in. Won't cost you anything extra, but it still ties in with what we're saying. So, he says that you've done good, you've done a good job. Enter to the joy or the blessedness or the happiness of your Lord or your boss man here. He also, that had to receive 2 talents, came and said to him, Lord, you delivered to me 2 talents. Behold, I've gained 2 other talents beside them. Again, he said the same thing this servant said to those. Well done. I entrusted 2 talents to you. You did well with it. Come on in. Enter the joy of your Lord. And then we get here to, then he which had received the 1 talent, he came and said, Lord, I knew that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. In other words, Master, I knew you're a harsh man, you're a hard man, you're a strict man, you're a by the books man, you go by the rules. I knew that you were staunch like that, reaping where you did not sow and gathering where you had not winnowed the grain is what that word means when it says strawed, winnowed the grain or sifted the grain. Now, first of all, that servant was a liar to start with. His master had indeed sown. He sown and entrusted into him 1 talent. That servant didn't acquire that talent on his own. That his master entrusted that talent to him. And he did not use it wisely. So he was lying on his master when he said that.